Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great game week 3, guys. It was a nice game week in terms of results. Maybe not the best in terms of our FPL teams. Uh, I had a decent game week, to be honest with you, and the one who really performed in my team was Bruno Fernandes, and Haaland blank was obviously not the best, but obviously it wasn't. We already knew it wasn't the easiest fixture, and we still kind of. We knew it was an easy fixture. Obviously, everybody had just captained Haaland, so in the end, it did not make any difference. It doesn't make a difference that if Bruno scored 12 points, we would have never captained him anyway. So in the end, captaincy was kind of nullified, and other than that, Bruno had a good game. Nicholas Jackson scored a goal finally. Rashford, Saka scored a penalty, so it was nice to see that he's back on penalties now. Interesting thing was Sterling, that happened in this game week, and he scored 2 goals and 1 assist. And Gusto, obviously Malo Gusto, the player which we talked about at length in last deadline stream, and he was the one who actually came through for everybody. It was kind of weird watching him give assists and Chilwell get nothing in that particular game, but what can you do? And sometimes it happens like that, guys. It's just weird, to be honest with you, to see that happening. So I got 57 points, guys. The overall rank is now within 1 million. I don't look at my overall ranks so early in the season. I just like to kind of let my just kind of build my team, which is more important, and the rank will take care of itself, I guess. So welcome to the stream, guys. Todd, thank you so much for this beautiful comment. He says patiently waiting for wisdom, and in wisdom he used the Z alphabet, which I absolutely really love, and I'm definitely gonna make one of the stickers for the members to use here. And it's absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for that, Todd. Hey Zara, welcome to the stream. Light Rays, FPLM, Fadzali, Barry, Azmir, Girid. So I guess let's just get started, guys. I think the main talking point is obviously going to be the midfield, which I already I've been thinking about my own team as well, because it's a pretty big topic to be discussed, because especially I think the Sterling performance has turned a few heads here, and so we need to get talking about that, and we need to kind of sort it out. So not kind of discussing too much with my own team. Let's move on and start discussing. So as let me read some comments. Which deadline is this, FPL or transfer deadline? This is obviously FPL deadline, my friend, but transfer deadline's not far away either. A lot of moves happening. Sofian Amrabat joining Manchester United, which is good. For Manchester United, they needed a kind of bolster that midfield. Palhinha was going to leave Fulham, and Palhinha is a player which I really hate, because he kind of a 10-man Fulham scored against Arsenal to draw the game right at the end. I mean, it was, oh man, what can I say? But his move to Bayern München supposedly is off, so he's not going, which makes me think he might take the Manchester City clean sheet as well. Azmir says, coming back from a ballsy game week, not owning a Mbumo and Mitoma, it paid off. God, I love these speed FPL. That's absolutely great, my friend. These are the small variances, small changes that actually work and pay off, and definitely feels good when it happens. Hey Faz, I hope you are doing well, my friend. Good luck to you as well. CAV says, glad I stuck with Diaby. That Watkins big haul is coming soon. I feel it, but he's still delivering. Yeah, he's kind of trickling at the moment. One return here and there. But yeah, Diaby return was absolutely great, and kudos to you for sticking, CAV. Love that. Hey, FPL Sum. Hey, George. Welcome to the stream. He says, hey, I also have the Pickford-Turner combo and think Pickford needs to go. Thoughts on Flecken or wait to see if Henderson starts for Palace? I think Henderson will... I'm not really... I'm not sure if he's going to be straight away brought in the team at Palace, but... I agree that Pickford has not done well, and he, is like not been the ideal pick, although he had good fixtures to go with. And I thought that Sean Dyche would coach some defense into this team, but apparently it doesn't seem to have happened. So I'm a bit concerned about Pickford as well. But at this moment in the season, I personally would not like to waste a transfer on a goalkeeper, although I feel that yes, Flecken is the best option in this price bracket. Is keeping faith in Richarlison a silly decision? Jira, to be honest with you, I personally would not keep Richarlison. If you have Richarlison, I would move him on for Sterling. I would move him on for Maddison. I would move him on for possibly for somebody like Mbumo as well. Zara said, already made my transfer from Martinelli to Sterling. Have 1.8 in the bank, thinking I should use my second free transfer for Mitoma to Eze or Maddison. I like that transfer, Zara. I think if you want, you can make that transfer. I think it has an upside. Arsenal letting Rob Holding go means they get another centre back. I personally don't think so. I think they've already got Gabriel, they got Saliba, they've got Kiwior, they've got Ben White who can play there. I think they're pretty well stacked in that department. So I don't think they're gonna get another centre back. No, but letting Rob Holding go for 4 million is absolutely insane. To be honest with you, I don't like that one bit. Abhijit says, what are your moves today, Wiz? I got 2 free transfers. I'm very torn with decisions to make. Personally, I'm kind of conflicted in my mind at this moment, because the ones which I really want to bring in is Sterling or Maddison. I'm not really considering Foden, because I don't really want to, get into this Pep Roulette stuff. And with already having Ruben Dias and Haaland, I don't want to go triple up on City, although the upside is definitely there. So for me, the decision is Sterling or Maddison, which I'm been thinking. Obviously, as a player, as the influence in the team, I prefer Maddison. But if you look at the fixtures, obviously you kind of think about Sterling. But then there's another argument against Sterling as to that Sterling gave his performance against Luton, and he's not going to play Luton every week, which I totally agree with. But he's been influential, before the game against Luton, he had 22 touches in the box in the first 2 games. It was not that this haul wasn't coming. It was just a matter of luck, I guess, and a little bit, a little bit of, I can say, everything coming together for Sterling at the right time. So yeah. Not sure Palinia plays 3 p.m. tomorrow after being in Munich today. That's true. It doesn't even matter, CAV. I mean, Arsenal had an XG of 3+ against Fulham. So Arsenal should have comfortably won that game. Palinia should never have had that. Fulham should never have even got that corner in the first place. How can 10 men playing against you, how can you allow them to take a lead in the late stages of the game? I don't understand. So I didn't like that at all. Sylvester says, who to bench? Have Madder, Rashford, Bruno, Saka, Diaz, Alvarez, Haaland and Jackson. I think I would bench either one of Rashford or Bruno Fernandes, possibly Rashford, or I would play the rest. Fadzali, I have not made my moves yet. I will make my moves a little bit later, bro. I'm sorry, I still haven't made my moves. I'm kind of torn between. The thing is, what I really want to do is I want to bring in both Maddison and Sterling. The issue is I'm just not feeling confident taking out Rashford because Rashford's fixtures are not really good. By the time we're gonna wildcard, Rashford has got some really good fixtures: Brighton, Palace, Brentford, all at home. So it kind of feels tough to take out Rashford, and I do not want to take out Mbumo. So I want to get both Maddison and Sterling, but the issue is I don't know who to get them for. So that's what I'm kind of contemplating in my mind, because I think Martinelli has got to go, and definitely one out of Maddison and Sterling is going to come in for me. But the thing is, I really want both. That's the thing. Yeah. Somebody asked a question about Diaz. I think I missed it. Yeah, there you go. Who to ban? No, just a second. There you go. Barry asked a question. He said, Wiz, along with Madison, Sterling, would you consider Luis Diaz as well? Not sure who to pick out of the three. To be honest with you, I think Luis Diaz is a really good pick. But I'm not really encouraged by, you can say, the Liverpool fixtures. Really, that's the only reason why I possibly would not go with Diaz or any Liverpool player, because I mean, yes, their fixtures are all right, but the thing is, they've got too many players in that forward positions and they keep rotating, and now they've added Gravenberch as well. I mean, they looked really amazing against Newcastle, I have to say that. The win, Darwin Núñez scoring those 2 goals, it was just stunning to watch that game. It was resilience, and it was just, counter-attack at its best. What a game it was. I think, yes, definitely we can throw Luis Diaz into the mixer, but the only thing I would like to offer is Luis Diaz, I think, his only option to score points in FPL is from open play, and currently I think I prefer players who've got more duties, like for example Madison. He's on set pieces, free kicks, corners, possibly might even take a penalty. We don't know who's going to take a penalty. Maybe Son, so we don't know. And with Sterling, I'm also not sure that he also might be on penalties. With Sterling rising to the occasion and taking the responsibility for the team, I think Poch might even put him on penalties. Although his penalty record is atrocious, I know that, but he still could give him a try, So I have a feeling, and on top of that, at 7.2 million, I think Sterling has a lot of upside there, as compared to Luis Diaz, because Sterling could become the kind of attacking threat of that team. And look at how involved he was against Luton. Again, caveat, I'm offering a caveat, it was just Luton, but still, and so these are the things which we need to consider. If you ask my preference, I would rank these midfielders. To be honest with you, before I rank these midfielders, I would like to go to Fantasy Football Fix and show you their stats, because I just don't want to kind of just talk about my opinions. I would actually just like to kind of show you the stats which actually back up opinions here. What transfers did you make? I did not make any transfers yet, my friend. Saliba to Walker and Jota Rashford to Madders. I think Jota to Madders and Saliba to Ruben Diaz I would prefer more than Walker, but yeah, like both the moves. Right. So Sterling 23 points, Maddison 22 points, nothing to choose here. 261 minutes, 253 again, nothing much to choose. Maddison 4 bonus, Sterling 3. Obviously got all the bonuses in one game. Maddison got 2 bonuses in 2 different games. So as you can see, Sterling is predominantly playing on the right hand side, and Maddison is obviously, he kind of plays right close to the box, a kind of old fashioned number 10 role. Especially with Postecoglou's team, I think Maddison has really good. So you see, Sterling's taken 6 shots, Maddison's taken 8, and let's even see where they've taken their shots from. So definitely Sterling and Maddison, they're both really involved in the box, and Sterling's obviously more concentrated, more close to the 6-yard box as compared to Maddison, but there's still pretty good positions to take those shots. Let's see the touches, where they're taking their touches. So obviously Sterling is obviously taking most of his touches right inside the box. Look at the number of touches in the box, guys. It's insane. There's just 3 game weeks down, and Sterling has got like insane number of touches in the box, and Maddison's got a lot too, and for a number 10 as compared to a winger, this is pretty good for Maddison, and obviously other things. Attempted assists is obviously where Maddison's going to dominate. There's no No chance. I mean, even the assist which Sterling got was kind of fluky, and like it hit the player. It did not detract too much, and Jackson was able to score. But Madison's obviously on a different level. He's on set pieces, free kicks, and his deliveries are just out of this world. Even the goal that Romero scored, what a ball it was. And yeah. So as you can see, let's look at the 90 minutes per 90 minutes statistics. So obviously Sterling has got more XG, but then I personally I don't like the fact that the XG is being botched by this one game against Luton. But otherwise, I think for a midfielder, 0.36 XG per 90 minutes is really good for Maddison. Expected goals, same per 90 minutes. Shots, I mean, Maddison's taking more shots than Sterling, and that's saying something that Sterling played against Luton and Maddison hasn't, and Maddison's had a game against Manchester United as well. So obviously Sterling has had a game against Liverpool, so yeah, that evens it out a little bit. So shots on target, more for Maddison per 90 minutes. Shots in the box, more for Maddison. Touches in the box is obviously more for Sterling, but those touches have to mean something, right? I'm sorry guys, I'm not responding to your comments. I'll come back and respond to all of your comments. Don't worry about it. Just give me a second. I have to take you through this. So goal assists, you see here, this is what really stands out in terms of Maddison. Even though Maddison's taking more shots than Sterling, he's just is next level monster when it comes to creation. And in that Postecoglou team, I mean, assists is something which he can really get. I mean, he can give you a lot of points, Maddison, now, obviously Sterling's got crosses because he's a winger. Maddison's obviously not playing on the wing, so no crosses here. But you see a clear difference between them, and I think Sterling's numbers have been affected a little bit by this game against Luton. Otherwise, Maddison. Look at this radar, guys. And just look at the attacking radar here. This black radar is James Maddison. Look, he's contributing everywhere, almost everywhere. He's not crossing the ball, which I don't think makes a huge difference. But look at here: attempted assists, big chances created, goals, expected goals, shots on target, shots in the box. And this is Sterling. The radar is smaller. It's mostly focused on total, like kind of attack, goals, shots. So, I mean, I just kind of prefer Maddison. Now, let me offer you a caveat here. Sterling has 5 really good fixtures, and Maddison doesn't. Maddison has like 2 games against Arsenal and Liverpool in between. So that is something that should concern you, and that is the only thing which should really concern you. So I showed you the stats, guys. You're kind of free to make your own opinions about it, but I personally, long term, I think I would definitely pick Maddison. But for the 5 game weeks, I think maybe, just maybe, Sterling could be a better pick. Right on, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed that analysis. I hope it wasn't too long. I didn't drag it too much. So let me answer your question. Jackson or Watkins? I prefer Jackson. Eze to Sterling, Mbumo or Roll to have 2 free transfers after the international break. I think Eze's got good fixtures. I think you can keep him. I don't think you should transfer him out for Mbumo. I think you can keep Eze, my friend. I think they've got good fixtures. Crystal Palace, and I think Eze is the talisman of that team. He's been unlucky not to score points, So if I was you, I would possibly think about keeping Eze. Hello, Aman. I hope you're fine. You're on a wildcard. That's great. Indecisive on Foden or Alvarez. I would go with the Foden, my friend. I mean, if you're on a wildcard, I possibly think about putting both of them in and later moving one of them on after the Fulham game. But yeah, if you're on a wildcard, you can take a risk. Hey Himanshu, I hope you're doing well. Greetings, my friend. He says we all need a conversation on the Champions League Group F, not taking anything away from the deadline though. Yeah, definitely, Himanshu. I mean, Newcastle's got this group of death. Crazy teams, Milan and PSG and whatnot. So yeah, definitely, why not? Let's have this discussion after the deadline is over. Aman, to be honest with you, at this moment in time, an ideal wildcard would be you really need to consider the midfield. Obviously, Haaland would be in there, Jackson would be in there. So there's no kind of debate in the striker position, right? So I think in midfield you should think about Saka, Bruno Fernandes, Foden, Madison, Sterling, or you can replace one of them with Mbumo. If you're kind of concerned with the minutes of Foden, you can possibly get Mbumo. Defense kind of picks itself. Chilwell, obviously, you can get one City defender. If you want to get Guardiola, Ruben Diaz, obviously Stupinan, very heavily owned. You can get Stupinan. Get one Newcastle defender because their fixtures are turning, and possibly Udogi as well. So yeah. In keepers, I would go with Flecken. Right. Aman already went through that. So Aman says my team: Ariola, Udogi, Walker, Chilwell. Any changes as I'm on a wild card? I just discussed that. So isn't keeping Jota instead of Rashi the move considering their fixtures? Abhijit, the problem with Jota is a little bit concerned about his minutes. Rashford is nailed on. Is going to play most of the games, play 90 minutes most of the time. Jota, on the other hand, is kind of, like now Darwin Nunez has scored 2 goals against Newcastle. He comes into the equation as well. They've got Luis Diaz, they've got Hakpo, they've got Salah. They're all competing for these 3 positions, So I think the minutes are a concern for Jota. Otherwise, I like Jota. Why not? Ishtiaq says, what recent new signing do you think will be good to bring? I have my eyes on this. Brennan Johnson to Tottenham. I think he at 5.9 million, a Tottenham striker who's nailed on. It could be really good, to be honest with you, especially after game week 9 when the fixtures turn. At 5.9, getting a Tottenham striker, I like that a lot. I think could be good. So I don't particularly think Reguilon would be the new signing that we would all like to bring in, but I have my eyes on this Brennan Johnson guy. Salah could score big this game week. He could, yes. Salah always could score big. He's a talisman. He's great, and especially with Liverpool with so high on confidence. I mean, you would be lucky to own their assets. So if you stuck with Salah until now, I wouldn't move him on now. Reguilon, Ansu Fati is insane for Brighton, guys. To be honest with you, I just, when I read that news, I thought it was a fake account. But Ansu Fati to Brighton, it's just a different level move, guys. Ansu Fati is a great player, and he could be really good for FPL, but it could be a problem for Joao Pedro, of course, that we own. But I like the move of Ansu Fati a lot. I'm hoping those bids unsettle Salah out of the game as a Villa fan. I think Salah could have possibly, already known that he's not going to go this season. So, I don't think he's going to be unsettled. I think next season is the season when Salah really goes. Hey Wiz, hope everything's well. Nunez or Watkins, Saka or Bruno, Rash. Out of those, I prefer Watkins because I'm not sure about Nunez minutes. So if Nunez was nailed on, that would be a no-brainer to say Nunez because their fixtures are good. But I'm not sure about his minutes. Saka or Bruno Rashford. I prefer Saka. I think at home, Saka would be better. I think long term, if you ask me, I think I would own both Saka and Bruno Fernandes. The one I would get rid of is Rashford. But I would not get rid of Saka or Bruno Fernandes. Fati only for 6.5. Absolutely, my friend. I just want to see him play. If he's starting regularly, he's doing well for Brighton, I very well could bring him in on my wildcard, Navneet says I took a -4 hit. Mbumo to Mitoma. -4, is it? Mbumo to Mitoma? Why? Mbumo's got such good fixtures. He's on penalties. Why do you want to take out Mbumo? I do not understand, Navneet. Can you elaborate? I think January could be when Salah goes based on how this season is going. That's possible. That's possible. Saudis are now throwing like crazy money at every player, and they're attracting like talent like Neymar and Ronaldo and whatnot. So it will only take some time for Salah to go there. Eventually, I think that is his final destination. Asmir says, hey, apart from Martinelli, Who you think should be in the chopping board out of Bruno and Rashford? I'm thinking Rashford, Azmir. You know, out of Bruno and Rashford, I think we should consider selling Rashford. I think Bruno's too involved in everything which is being done in United attacking wise. He's just a machine, and I would not sell him. Lightre says, what are your moves this week, Wiz? Lightre says, I'm possibly going to be moving on Martinelli for either Maddison or Sterling, or I might either move both of them. I might move on Rashford and Martinelli for Sterling and Maddison. So I'm considering these moves at the back of my head, and gonna move them soon. Let's see where we end up. Hopefully no trumpets today. Sorry, I got an Mbuma and removed Mitoma for a -4 hit. I mean, Navneet, possibly you should not have possibly taken a -4 hit, but as a player and as looking at the fixtures, I definitely think Mbuma is the better pick. But unnecessarily taking -4 hits can push your season back. So, only take hits when it's really needed. Transferring out a good player for another good player on hit is not warranted, because variance, you never know when variance falls. For example, last week Mbuma didn't perform, or didn't do much when everybody expected Mbuma to kind of do well. So sometimes these things don't pan out the way you expect them to, because even last week he had a decent fixture against Crystal Palace. He played 90 minutes, didn't do much at all. So it's just subjective kind of. Yeah. So with no Chelsea attacker, I think I'm set on making the Sterling move. I think if you don't have a Chelsea attacker, I think you should make the Sterling move, because I think having a Chelsea attacker is must, especially with most of the engaged managers owning Jackson. I think definitely Sterling can give you the edge. So why not? George says Rashford is about to start playing on the left. Seems bad to sell him now. Well, George, that is exactly my concern. And because, I heard Ten Hag, and he said that Højlund might be ready to start, and, against Arsenal. So he might be fit against Arsenal. So if they start with a striker, Rashford moves to the left, and that's where he's the most dangerous. Maybe not against Arsenal, maybe against Arsenal as well. Last season he scored a fantastic goal against Arsenal, so who knows what's going to happen with Rashford. But yeah, I don't like selling him as well. I kind of, that's the reason I'm having this dilemma, bro. That's the entire thing. But if I don't sell Rashford and Martinelli, then I'm going to be stuck between choosing Maddison and Sterling, which is also a dilemma in itself. So kind of no good solution at this moment in time. True, but the one time this season Ten Hag plays him in his position, Rashford delivered. Really looking forward to see how Bruno and Rashford adapt to having Højlund. I agree with that. I'm looking forward as well. That's the reason I'm in a dilemma, bro. Surfroz says, hi, is Rashford to Sterling? Surfroz, I think if you have Martinelli, it would be better to move him on as compared to Rashford, let's say. So if I was you, I'd possibly move on Martinelli, not Rashford. Thomas says, hey, should I take a hit, bring in Maddison and Beto for Bailey and Watkins? Bring in Maddison and Beto for Bailey and Watkins. Yeah, I know, but they play against Liverpool, so you can, it's the hit makes me a bit uncomfortable here. I mean, Watkins has been doing all right, if not the best. So, difficult to say. Thomas, this is a tough one to say, but definitely Maddison is desirable. That's all I can say here. Alan Morris says, start Guardiola or Estupinan. Guys, I would like to show you this this guy who leaks team news. Most of the time is pretty accurate. Not Emma, but obviously I can't remember the name of that guy. And FPL Payne or something. What's his name? Guys, can you tell me his come on, how can I forget his... Guys, what's that guy who leaks this information? The guy who Raptor shared name. can I do that? Can anybody tell me in the chat, guys? I totally lost or can't remember. No, not newsletter. No, there's another guy, FPL Pain or something. I just, man, I need to kind of start eating some almonds. My memory's gone weak. Just a second, guys. Just give me a second. I'm gonna try and find this guy. I think yeah, no, not this one. This guy always gives the information to FPL Raptor, so FPL Raptor has shared his ID, so we can directly take information from this guy. So he tweets, he tweeted something about the Chelsea, the City team. You know, he tweeted about the City team. So I would like to show you the team which he thinks City is gonna put out. Obviously, if I can find his name. Bro just named his page Emma. Nah, that's not my page. Guys, I'm just so sorry. I can't find this guy. But from what he posted, let me. Okay, if I can't find his ID, I'll just tell you what he posted. No. That was not this FPL. It's some FPL Pain or something. I just can't remember. Yeah, Main Road or something. Exactly. What's his? Can you tell me his Twitter that profile? Oh, there you go. Main Road, FPL Main Road. Guys, I'm so sorry to kind of just. Yeah, there he is. I hope he's the right one. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So he says, okay, I may have an idea of who's starting for City tomorrow. Couple of surprises in there. However, all FPL main assets look like they're starting. So what he's shared here is there you go. So this was shared by Luke this FPL, but this guy said that I agree with this information, although he's not confirmed it, but he said I agree with this information kind of. So Haaland, Doku seems to be starting here tomorrow. Foden, Alvarez. So all of you who own Foden and Alvarez, I mean, this guy thinks he's starting. Kyle Walker. So this is exactly why I was a little skeptical about suggesting Guardiola. You know, Guardiola seems to be missing out for some reason. Maybe it could be due to the Champions League, could be due to some other reason. But you know, Guardiola seems to be missing out. Ruben Dias, Akanji, Rodri, Ake, Kyle Walker, and Kovacic. This is kind of the back and the midfield. So make of this what you want. I mean, I'm not saying that I endorse this information or anything, but you kind of should know, you know, that this guy has posted this. So I just wanted to keep you updated on about this Twitter. Yeah, Pep Roulé, obviously, but I don't think many people had Grealish or Guardiola. I think was owned by a lot of people. So yes, that is something which could, yeah, you know. Pep is Pep. That is exactly why I don't want to get Foden. Why I didn't even consider going with Foden, because I know he's a great asset, but I just can't. Every week, you know, I can't take rotations every week and just having to pray before the team sheet comes out that this guy is starting, this guy not starting. So just don't. I can't deal with this, my friend. Not every week. Just find it very hard to do that. Pep Roulé strikes. He says Onana versus Areola to start. I would start Areola, my friend. CAV says not completely relevant, but look how that team is set up. Football is hilarious. Well, everybody's trying to play the same way with this inverted, you know, inverted fullbacks, and they're trying to come in and add an extra body in the midfield, and you know those defensive midfielders going back and helping. It's kind of crazy. Mitoma and Gabriel out for Sterling and Udogie. Why not? Pavan, I think I like that move. Why not? Yep, I would go with that. I like that move a lot. So guys, I mean, you know, the entire decision about my team was whether to go for I love the formation, but the lineups just look funny. Yeah, that's true. It's true. For Todd says, I have one free transfer. Midfielders Bruno, Rash, Saka, Odegaard, Foden. What would you do? I would move on Odegaard for Madison or Sterling. Todd, you already got Foden, so that's an upside, I would say. I would possibly move him on, Odegaard, because Odegaard is not on penalties. Has a couple of tough fixtures coming up against Spurs and United. I think it would be better to move him on for Sterling or Madison, whichever one you want to decide. But the team looks really strong. Your midfield looks really strong for this week. Farzid says 2 free transfers, got Madison for Mitoma already. Martinelli to Sterling, Mbumo or Foden. Out of these 3, I prefer Sterling. I really like Mbumo, but hard to take him over Sterling. But definitely Mbumo is a great option as well. If you got Madison for Mitoma already, I think Martinelli to Sterling could be the move to go for. Who's the best defender worth 6.1 million right now, changing from Gabriel? To be honest with you, I really would not go for a 6.1 million defender. I think, either you want to upgrade to somebody like Trippier, or you want to downgrade to somebody like Udogie, or Colville or somebody like that. Maybe Sven Botman from next week. So I would not spend too much on defense unless it's on Trippier. Melivab, thank you so much for the shout out, my friend. Subhajit says, already done Gabriel to Guardiola. Shall I take a hit or Joao Pedro to Jackson? See, Subhajit, the thing is, there's 2 things to consider. One, I read the news or the press conference by De Zerbi in which he says that Welbeck is injured. He'll not be able to play this week or something to that, effect. But the thing is, with Ansu Fati coming in, maybe he's gonna start if he's registered in time or something. So maybe. But I was thinking maybe Joao Pedro can start. But I think over the long term, I prefer Jackson over Pedro. So if you want to do it this week or you want to do it next week, that is totally up to you. But eventually, I would move him on. Yes. Right. So guys, it's a tough one. A tough decision to make between these 3 mids. Guys, obviously I'm not putting you off Mbumo or Farzid, but Mbumo is a great option as well. Even I would even prefer him over Sterling, to be honest with you. He's the talisman of that team. He's playing against Bournemouth, so don't let this recency bias against Luton pick Sterling. If you want to go with Mbumo, go with Mbumo, my friend. Who is the best 4.5 million forward enabler? I like Archer. He's gone to Sheffield United. So I think that's the one which you should think about. I think that's the only one that's really got to be playing. There's another one in Bournemouth. I can't even pronounce his name, but I would not go there. I think Archer is the one to go for. Fez. So Barry says Mitchell and Sterling in for Baldock and Diaby. Originally wanted to get Madison and Udogie. Diaz in for Rashford and Baldock, but too short. Selling Diaby, point to short, selling Diaby instead of Rashford decisions. Yeah, I understand that. Crystal Palace fixtures are good. Mitchell upside is limited. Obviously, the ceiling's not pretty high, but yeah, I guess why not? If there's no money in the bank, then you gotta make do. And Sterling is a great asset anyway, so it's not like you're getting a bad player or anything like that. So yeah, like that. I like that. In fact, to be honest with you, if you ask me, it's hard to choose between Madison and Sterling right now. It's just so hard. I'm just telling you this. I just find it hard. Just because of the fact that United are playing against Arsenal. Let me actually go to my transfers page. I just got over 20 minutes to go. I should be thinking about making my own transfer as well. I don't want to sit here and you never know with these FPL servers. So guys, the first idea is to kind of just sell Martinelli to, let us say, Sterling, and the second idea or the second move which I was thinking to make is just kind of Madison. I've got 2 free transfers. I don't, like, I would not have to take a hit or anything. I've got 2 free transfers, and just like these moves. And what I'm thinking is, basically, in case, for example, let us say Rashford does really well, I mean, I can always just get him back. I have the money in the bank. I can always get him back. It's not like Rashford's gone forever and I can't get him back. I'm just kind of chasing the upside here if I make these moves. Obviously, I'm not going for a Foden, which might be a more upside decision, but and we know that he's going to start against Fulham. So yeah, this is what I'm been thinking. Maybe, just maybe, I'll just go with one of them, maybe not both, but I think this is an upside move. Gives me an upside, as compared, because Arsenal versus Manchester United, yes, it tends to be a high scoring game, obviously, but don't want to put too many eggs in one basket here. All right, let's answer your questions quickly. ISM last game week was horrible. Need to start one from Baldock, Saliba, Kabore. Please suggest. None of them are really actually looking good at this moment in time. If I was to start one, obviously Kabore plays against West Ham, but West Ham have been doing well. I expect them to do well. Baldock obviously has game against. Maybe Baldock, my friend. You can take a chance and play Baldock. Sakito says 1 free transfer. Flecken, Stupinan, Saliba, Colville, Chilwell, Mbumo, Mitoma, Salah, Saka, Bruno. You already got Mbumo, you've got Turner, Joao Pedro, Salah, Kabore on the bench. Kabore to Odoge and Ben Saliba for Odogi. Yep, why not? Like that move, yes. By the way, any news on Burnley Luton double game week? I think Ben tweeted about it. I think was it game week 18? I think it was game week 18. I just totally skipped my mind, George. I will find about it and I'll let you know hopefully in the next stream. I think it was game week 18 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why I don't remember this. Or Mitoma to Raheem. I like both the moves, Sakito. I mean, obviously Mitoma to Raheem has more upside than as compared to a defender, but I like both the moves, yeah. Thomas says, hey, should I bring in Madison or Sterling for Bailey? Thomas, that's $1 million question, bro. I mean, if I knew which one is the better, it's just it's just a coin toss between Madison and Sterling. I think longer term Madison is the better pick. Short term until game week 9, I think Sterling might be the better due to the fixtures. Yeah, that's you have to pick one of them. That's the whole issue. You already own Jackson, it doesn't make a difference. I think every active FPL manager would own Jackson because last week a lot of people transferred him in. What's his ownership stats, by the way? I'm saying this. Yeah, I mean 22%. I mean, still, I think the effective ownership around your rank would be pretty high of Jackson. Thomas, I mean, if I had to pick one of the two, I would possibly go with Sterling. The reason, Madison's got these 2 fixtures in between, Arsenal and Liverpool. I don't like them. I don't like these 2 fixtures at all. That's exactly why I'm thinking I preferred Sterling. If you look at these fixtures, I mean, it's good. All of them until game week 8. So yeah, Madison or Sterling, how about, can I already answer that a lot of times, guys. There's no one good. I mean, if I had to pick one, long term, I'd say if you're not wildcarding in game week 9, go for Madison. Wildcarding in game week 9, go for Sterling. That's my opinion. Martinelli plus Pickford to Madison plus Sanchez as well. You can go with Sanchez if you want to, George. I mean, you'll just be blocking a Chelsea spot. That's the only downside with getting a Chelsea goalkeeper, but I like that. Hey FPL Jug, I hope you're doing well. Sorry, got delayed at a party, so moving Bayer to Trippier as my move. Well, I mean, there's definitely upside with Trippier and Jugs, but the only thing you need to be concerned about is the group of death in Champions League. So if an easy game comes in between in the Premier League, maybe, just maybe, Trippier could be rested. They've got cover. They signed a few players. So yeah. Otherwise, I think Trippier's got upside. Saka or Diaby? Saka. That Liverpool game will probably be a cricket score expecting something like a 2-2. Yeah, I mean, it depends on that. I think Liverpool's going to have a huge boost, after beating Newcastle away at home with 10 men. Also signing Ryan Gravenberch, I think it, and Alexis McAllister. Their midfield looks absolutely amazing right now. I don't see a weakness in that Liverpool team. Maybe they don't have a holding striker, but I mean, Darwin Núñez was electric that day. It was electric, amazing. Shall I take a hit to get Sterling for Eze? FPL Jack, I don't think you need to take a hit, my friend. I think if you have Jackson, I think you should be all right. Eze has a good fixture as well against Wolves, so I don't think that's the move which you need to take a hit for. Next week you can move Eze on if you want to, but I think you don't need to take a hit. So Martinelli to Sterling, Rashford to Maddison. Yeah, kind of hard to select this. These out of these two players, it's a bit tough. I prefer Sterling because of the fixtures. I'm telling you this. By the way, Callum Hudson-Odoi has joined Nottingham Forest as well. Might bolster up their attack a bit. Might be a good option in FPL. Akanji is back in training. Yeah, that's fine. So guys, I mean, it's hard to Divock Origi to Nottingham Forest. All these news are coming in. Yeah, it's fine. Going to make my transfer. That's totally fine. -4 for Foden or Alvarez. I would take a -4 for Foden, possibly. I think the upside is huge. What do you guys predict Arsenal versus Manchester United? I think it's going to be something like a 3-2, 3-1. I don't know. I'm an Arsenal fan. It's going to be hard for me to predict. Because I'm biased towards Arsenal, obviously. I hope it works out either ways. Arsenal 3-2 Manchester United. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of game which I'm predicting. I don't feel like selling Jota, Rashford to Matters. If you don't feel like selling Jota, then yeah, you can do Rashford to Matters. Yeah. If it's a free transfer, I don't think there's going to be a huge difference between the points of, let us say, Rashford and Maddison. So over the long term, So yeah, you can. I think you can. Right on, guys. I mean, what I'm thinking right now is if I make these moves, thoughts on Bowen, and if the fixtures were better, Surfrose, I would get him. Jota to Diaz, no, I would keep Jota. I mean, I think that's a sideways move. I would not do that. Sticking with Rashford and Baldock to Maddison and Diaz, not over-reliant on Diaz in case of the roulette. I think Diaz is going to be safe from the roulette most games, so she should be fine. So guys, what I'm thinking is, in case Rashford performs or something happens, I can always get back Rashford, I guess. That's just what I'm thinking right now. Yes, I know the sane move would be to simply just get one of the two. But I think there's an upside, especially with game week 5. You should. I mean, you want Maddison in this team because they're playing Sheffield United at home. Even after that game, for example, I'll have a free transfer if I don't need to make anything. I might get back Rashford. Who knows? If I don't like Maddison for these two fixtures, I'm not bound to keep him. So I make my transfers for the long term. I know the fixtures are not the best, but guess with international break coming up, who knows? Injuries, who knows what's gonna happen. So yeah. I personally, I think I like these transfers. Although before a big game, transferring out two of those assets is not the ideal situation, but I think it's gonna be all right. There's a bit of an upside chase and not so much of a downside. Although I had contemplated another move which I would like to tell you here. So I had thought that I would move out Martinelli for Sterling, or I had thought that I would move out Rashford. I would not even move Martinelli because Martinelli's got the home game. So the first move which I really thought of was like Rashford to Maddison or Sterling, whichever one I prefer. And the second one I thought was Udogie. So this was also on my mind. So I thought I could move this and bench Estupinan and play these three defenders, play this midfield and these strikers. But I again want to lighten up in this game, and also what I've been thinking is that Sterling's got good fixtures. That's all I've been thinking. And Chelsea doesn't have Champions League or anything like that. These games are all right. These games are not bad. Performs fine. 7.2 million is not the end of the world. Can move him on. Right, guys. I think I should do it. Start Onana or Turner? I mean, can start Turner if you want to. I'm not even sure if he plays. They signed a new goalkeeper, but yeah, I mean, if he doesn't start, obviously it isn't going to come on. So yeah, you can start Turner if you want. I mean, Onana's definitely get more save points. Everton, not sure how Everton's going to perform, but you can take a chance on Turner. It's not the end of the world. Keepers have a low ceiling anyway, my friend. Just a casual 4.2 million in the bank, says G-Red. Smelly says lock your teams. Todd says makes sense to lighten up your team before the Arsenal Manchester United game. Yep, agree with that. Whew. Feels hard to do these transfers, isn't it? But I guess we have to do it. So guys, there you go. With a heavy heart, I made these transfers. It just feels I'm not the kind of FPL manager who would transfer a good player out for another good player. I'm not that kind of a manager. I like to stick with my players for a longer duration most of the time. But this time, the thing is, I saw the two fixtures. Let me tell you why I did this, I saw the two fixtures. Let us see. They play against Arsenal away and Brighton at home. So Brighton at home is kind of always a tricky fixture. I don't know what to expect from this game either. So I thought that yes, I'll get him for 2 game weeks, Maddison. Because in game week 5, Arsenal has an away game to Everton, which is kind of a boogie game as well. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what's going to happen. They obviously Manchester City play away to West Ham, which is not going to be an easy game by any stretch of imagination, especially how West Ham have been playing. So and Brighton, I've got 2 Brighton players in my team. They also have a difficult fixture. So I thought that maybe I have I'll get Maddison, who plays Sheffield United at home later on. Yes, he's got this North London derby. If I don't like the look of Maddison in these 2 weeks, who's stopping me from getting Rashford back? So yeah, I guess Malo Gusto is not a good option for the long term, because I've heard Reece James is going to be back soon. Short term, maybe 1 game week 4 he's going to be all right. So guys, let's set the team. So who do I want as my first bench? Obviously attacker Kabore. Obviously I want on my second bench. Captaincy is obviously fix vice captain, huh? I like Mpumo. Let's take a yeah, it's not a risk. We all know Haaland is going to start, and I mean, just at the off chance he doesn't. And thanks so much, Lighters, for the shout out. Saka to Sterling for a -4. Harry, I don't think so. I think it's just too much chopping and changing. Saka is an asset you want to keep for the rest of the season. He's played 83 games in a row for Arsenal. He's 8.7 million. You sell him now for 8.6. You're gonna have to get him back for 8.7 million. You're gonna lose some value. If you want, you can do it. If you've got money in the bank, you think you want to do it. Yes, this game week maybe not, not that much upside, but. Girid says Martinelli will take vengeance on us all. I mean, I would love that. I would love that. I'm an Arsenal fan. I would love nothing more than to see Arsenal win against United. FPL or no FPL, I really don't care. I mean, last week it hurt me so much, that Fulham goal right at the end. I mean, Arsenal was, were trailing. They conceded a stupid goal at the start of the game. Saka made a bad pass. And then, I mean, they struggled the entire game to get a goal. Then they got 2 in quick succession. And how can you give away a goal to a 10-man Fulham is beyond me. I mean, I was just hurting a lot, a lot. But some things, sometimes you can't do anything about it. Guys, see, I'm not saying Martinelli is a bad asset. I'm just saying that with Gabriel Jesus coming back, with Leandro Trossard, with Nketiah, with all these guys, I think his minutes are gonna be limited. Whenever he's gonna take off somebody, he's not gonna take off Saka. He's gonna take off Martinelli. That's the issue. Risking Sterling as captain against Fulham, I think you should captain Haaland. No, they didn't sell Pelinia. The move didn't go through. The German transfer window is already closed. Guys, so this is my team. I'm in. Guys, whoever was asking me, Turner or Onana, start Onana. Don't start Turner. I'm sorry. Who was it? I need to go back and... Where are you? Start Onana. He'll have more save points, I guess. I hope you listen to me. Navneet says, bro, my -4 worth it. It's fine, Navneet. I mean, I personally would not take -4s. Again, good player for a good player. But Mitoma to Mbumo seems alright. Bench Saliba for Estupinan. I don't think there's going to be much difference, but I think you should play Estupinan. At least he has attacking upside. Luton first home game going to be fiery atmosphere. Really not sure about these Bowen, etc. calls. I know. I never recommended Bowen, especially next game is against Manchester City. I personally, I think Manchester, if West Ham had easier fixtures, I would possibly recommend their players, but not anymore. Kabore Masterclass says FPL some, that would be nice. Ramsdale or Leno? Ramsdale. Will Gabriel ever start? I have no idea. I think he might start this week. Who knows? 2 minutes remaining. Lock your teams. I'm not answering any more questions, guys. I don't want you to miss the deadline. Please lock your teams. Watkins to Jackson for a -4. Yes. Start Diaby or Estupinan. I hadn't realized it was Newcastle till now. Diaby. I will start Diaby. He's got upside. He's an attacker. You always start the attacker. Estupinan's got a difficult game anyway. You're relying on attacking points. Lock your teams. Lock your teams. All of you lock your teams. No more answers, guys. Please. I don't want you to miss the deadline. I just want you to go and lock your team. Captain Haaland, Vice Captain Mbumo. I made 2 transfers, Rashford and Martinelli out for Maddison and Sterling. Pedro's first on the bench. Obviously, if defense is needed, then Kabore is going to come in. So, yeah. Bro, I took Mbumo because Mitoma is playing. Yeah, Newcastle. Yeah, I know that, bro. I know. I agree with you. If Mbumo bangs, I mean, that's absolutely going to be an upside for you. But I think when Mitoma's long term, not a bad pick. I mean, we can't keep on picking players for 1 game week. You understand my point, right? If you picked him Mbumo for the long term, then I think it's a good move. No issues. Zara said locked. Nice. Guys, please lock your teams. 1 minute remaining. As you see, 55 seconds remaining on the clock. Barry says thank you. You're welcome, Barry, and thank you so much for being on the stream, guys. You just love doing this. Viz, you would need Rashford back in a few weeks. Viz, definitely, Jugs. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I've got transfers. If I've got transfers to burn, I can just sell Maddison or Sterling for Rashford. I've got 2.5 million in the bank. I can get Rashford for whoever I want. I can get him for Sterling. I can get him for Maddison. So. I am doing a bit of an upside chasing. Todd says, I'm a naughty apprentice. I shipped out Rashi from Madison and kept Odegaard. Todd, no. Long term, I think Rashford is the better pick. They've got better fixtures. That's the reason. But yeah, I mean, you've already made the move, so not gonna say anything about it, because once it's done, it's done. But Odegaard, the problem with Odegaard right now is Arsenal are not clicking in attack, and Odegaard is only has upside when Arsenal are attacking well. So but who knows? If he puts top bins against United, we're all gonna be happy, right? You're gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy. It all works out in the end. That's how it is, Todd. So yeah, Arsenal are going to swamp Manchester United. I'm not so sure, Todd. Against Fulham, against 10 men, we conceded a stupid, silly corner and a goal, and I was not happy at so many different levels. It just wasn't good, And United, they won after being down, so that would give them confidence. And new signings as well, and obviously Glazer's gonna sell soon. So I mean, the overall atmosphere at the club is good at United, and Arsenal United games are always something which give you something to cheer about. Rashford masterclass incoming. Well, if it happens, it happens, my friend. I made my decision. I made my bed. I'm gonna lie in my bed. The thing is, I brought in Sterling in place of Rashford. Yes, I mean, if Rashford scores 2, who says Sterling cannot? It's not like he's got a game against a really tough team. Although Nottingham Forest is much tougher than Luton, I gotta say this. Midfield will get overrun, to be honest. Eriksen, yeah. I mean, the problem with Arsenal is Arsenal are not playing their ideal midfield. I mean, what's stopping them from playing what they did last season? Odegaard, Partey and Declan Rice. Just put Declan Rice in place of Granit Xhaka. Stop overthinking it. Stop playing Thomas Partey at right back. I mean, he's not a right back. He's a defensive midfielder, box-to-box midfielder. Such a fantastic player. Why are you playing him at right back? Why? I mean, come on, I mean, just to play Saliba at centre back and Ben White to partner him, just put Ben White at right back, put Gabriel back in the team, put Saliba and Gabriel as a centre back partnership, play Zinchenko on left back. You're gonna be fine, When something's not broken, you don't fix it, Arteta, I think, is just trying too many things right now. I don't like it too much. Rashford masterclass incoming, nah. I seriously hope not. Todd, next week that wisdom sticker is gonna come, bro. I'm gonna make it definitely, and put it for you guys to use. It's absolutely amazing. Love that. Thank you so much again. So, guys, I mean, this was about the where to play Havertz. Light Rays, I think you play Havertz at false 9. You've got these fast wingers to flank him. The way Arsenal played against Manchester City in the Community Shield was absolutely ideal. I don't know why they changed it, to be honest with you. Play Havertz at false 9. Make Martinelli and Saka play from Havertz, make him win the header, and Havertz is better there. I mean, he's not really a number 8. Although he's not been bad. He's had a decent game. Obviously, people expect more from a 60 million signing. I agree with that, but Havertz has been all right. Maybe the system needs time. Maybe these players need to adapt to the system. So who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Do you think Arteta would repeat the feat Arsenal achieved last season experimenting like this? I think FPL Jack, I think he should be fine. I think Arteta was experimenting against the teams against which he felt that they could win. Because I think Arteta expected us to win against Fulham. Arteta expected us to win against Crystal Palace. Maybe a tough game, but he expected to win. Even against Nottingham Forest, he would have expected us to win. So that's the whole issue. So he possibly was trying to train these players to play different systems against different teams, like Pep Guardiola does. When he plays against Liverpool, he'll possibly set up, a Kanji to man mark somebody like Salah, and something of that order. So you need different systems to play against, different teams. For example, you're playing a Manchester City. You can't play against them the same way you play against Nottingham Forest or a Luton. So that's the thing. But what happens is, if you're changing systems and still getting the wins, nobody asks you, but if you're changing systems and you kind of lose a result right at the end of the game, lose 2 points and drop 2 points against a 10-man Fulham, that's when the fans start questioning the team. I don't know what Gabriel's future is right now. He obviously, today is deadline, so if he doesn't go to Saudi right now, then he's gonna stay at least until January, and I think he's gonna focus and play. I think his head was turned a bit by the Saudi move, so that could be the reason Arteta was not playing him. I'm not sure, but I think we'll have more clarity in the coming weeks. Jug, I see no reason for Arsenal to sell Gabriel. He's fantastic. He's been fantastic. Yes, there's an odd mistake in him, but there's very few defenders who are infallible. Even Van Dijk makes mistakes. Even Nemanja Vidic used to make mistakes. Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, they all make mistakes. Centre backs. How can you be a centre back without making mistakes? Nobody's ideal. Yeah. So guys, let's do quick predictions. That's why he's on my bench. I think he's gonna possibly start against United. Who knows what's gonna happen? Nobody knows Arteta. Just like nobody knows Pep, nobody knows Arteta as well. So the first game, guys, Luton versus West Ham United. I like all of you to vote or just give your predictions. It would make this more interesting. So obviously Luton playing at home is going to be good. Our 2 away games was not the best start, and 1 game against Chelsea in which they got hammered. At home, I think the first game back in the Premier League going to be a different atmosphere. Hammer's going to find it hard, but I think they're going to win eventually. I think they just got the quality. The signings they've made, they've signed a winger, Kudus, and they signed a midfielder. Then they signed, I think, Alvarez, left back from Argentina. This is just good. I think West Ham made good signings. They've invested the money from Declan Rice really well. Hey Imran, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Too many wells. I hope you're doing good as well. So yeah, I hope you're doing good. So yeah, guys, I think Hammer's gonna win this game. I'm going with the 3. Who's gonna score goals for Luton is the question. 3-1, I guess. 2-1. I'll go with a 2-1 for West Ham. 2-1 for West Ham. Todd's gone with the 2-1 as well. Jug's gone with the 2-1 for Hammers. George has gone with 2-1 as well. Lightray's gone with 3-1. Barry's gone with 1-0 for West Ham. Nice. FPL Sam has gone with a draw. 1-1 draw. Nice. That's interesting. I mean, but mostly we expect West Ham United to win. Why wouldn't they win? I mean, they've been amazing, this season. Especially they beat Brighton away from home. They beat Chelsea at home. Why wouldn't they be confident of beating Luton? So yeah, I expect them to win game. Sheffield United versus Everton. God knows what's gonna happen in this game, guys. 2 absolute just crap teams at this moment in time. Although Sheffield United, they were back to their resilient best against Manchester City. They almost stopped them for the longest duration, and they pegged them back as well. I mean, they scored a goal. It was 1-1, and out of nowhere came, Kyle Walker storming out of the defense, puts across, Phil Foden flukes an assist, and then Rodri out of nowhere with his left foot just bangs it into the top corner. City is just a crazy machine, It's hard to be happy when they're losing or drawing. Insane. But back to Sheffield versus Everton. I think it's going to be a draw. For God's sake, can Pickford keep a clean sheet? I think not. I think Sheffield are going to score. If they can score against City, what makes you think they're not going to score against Everton? They got a new striker as well in Archer. I'm going with a 1-0 to Sheffield United. Sean Dyche, your job's going to be on the line, my friend. It's going to be hard. Let's see what you got to say. Todd says 1-1. George says 2-0 to Sheffield United. Nice. He's even gone for 2-0. Jug says 1-1. Lighter says 0-0. It's going to be a, snooze fest. Barry says 1-1. Right on, guys. So you're predicting a draw. I'm predicting a Sheffield United win. Let's see how this goes. Gonna be interesting. Brentford versus Bournemouth. This game is gonna be interesting. I'm predicting a 3-1 win for Brentford in this one. I'm expecting Brentford to bounce back. I mean, it wasn't a good game against Palace. And they lost a goal. They should have won this game. But Palace is not an easy opponent by any stretch of imagination. But I'm expecting them to bounce back at home against Bournemouth. 3-1, they're gonna win. Todd says 2-0. George says 2-0. Barry says 2-1. Interesting. 2-1 Brentford, yeah. So, I mean, Bournemouth is gonna score a goal, right? Sheffield United 1-1 says FPL Sam. Yeah, that's the most common prediction in that game. And 3-0 says Light Rays. Wow. So you don't expect Bournemouth to score. I mean, Bournemouth are decent in attack. They've got some players who are performing well in attack. I expect them to score one goal. I just don't know why. But Brentford defense is resilient. They don't easily allow you to take goals. 1-0 to Brentford says FPL. Some interesting. See, there's everybody expects Brentford to win. The scoreline is the difference in this game. Zara says Sheffield United 1-0. Same prediction as me. And what about the Brentford game, Zara? What do you think is gonna happen there? Right. So meanwhile, you make a prediction. Let's get moving. I personally, the next game is Burnley versus Spurs. Guys, I expected Burnley to be better. Zara says Brentford 2-0 Bournemouth. That's interesting. Nice. We all expected Brentford to win. So yeah. So guys, ever since we saw these promoted teams, I was not encouraged by any of them. I mean, Burnley, Luton, Sheffield, they seem underprepared for the season this time, and but I expected Burnley to do better with Vincent Kompany as their coach, and all these plaudits that he earned last season, that he's a great coach and he's doing this, he's doing that. But in the Premier League, they've not looked so effective. I mean, obviously they didn't have a game in game week 2, which was against Luton, which they possibly could have won. Against Aston Villa, they got smashed. Against City, everybody would have got smashed. So it doesn't make a difference. Now is going to be the real test. But against Spurs, it's going to be difficult as well. I guess they just had a bad start to the season in terms of fixtures. And the one fixture that they had against Luton Town, that was postponed. Not showing it here. All right. So I expect Spurs to win this game 3-1. But I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet. I think Burnley is going to score. I think they could easily have scored 2 or 3 goals against City. That's how good they were against them in attack, sometimes in the counter-attack transitions. But the finishing was atrocious. So yeah. Todd says 3-1 as well. George says 2-1, expecting Spurs to drop points. So you're expecting Burnley to win this game? Wow. That's interesting. What makes you think Postecoglou's not going to go there and play his system? I mean, if they can beat Manchester United at home, surely they can beat Burnley. That's an interesting prediction, George. I would keep that in mind when I was watching that game. Barry says 3-0 to Spurs. Yes, I am. That's on the same lines. Some says 1-3, but he expects Son to perform. FPL Sam brought in Son, guys. When we were all going for Madison, FPL Sam's always walks a different path, and he always goes on the road less taken, less traveled. As Ruskin Bond says, the road less traveled. Yeah. Son can be a great asset if Richarlison stops playing and Son plays as a striker and he's on penalties, and at 9 million he could be a great asset. So Lightra says 3-1 to Spurs. Yeah, I guess that's the most common prediction here. Chelsea Nottingham Forest, I'm expecting a 2-0 victory. I'm not expecting Chelsea to run over Nottingham. Nottingham are not a team which can get run over. They've got some good strikers. That Avonai guy who scored against Arsenal and scored in the next game against United as well. I expect Nottingham to go there. I think I even expect Nottingham to score 1 goal. So let's go with a 3-1 to Chelsea. I think Brennan Johnson leaving will impact them somehow, but they're going to score a goal. I'm going with the 3-1 to Chelsea. I am not going with the 2-0. I'm changing my prediction. I'm going with the 3-1. So Lighter says 3-1 to Chelsea. George says 3-2. Interesting. Barry says 2-1. Expect Overnay to the streak running. Yeah, that guy is a beast, you know, especially in the box. He can perform really well. FPL Sam says 2-1 to Chelsea. And that would be nice as well. You know, I just expect hope Sterling is involved a bit, especially after transferring him out for transferring Rashford out for him. Chelsea 2-0. So Todd has gone with my original prediction while I changed mine. I went with the 3-1. Todd says it's going to be Chelsea 2-0. And it's going to be an interesting game to watch. By the way, guys, see all these midfielders that we spoke about, Maddison, Sterling, Foden, they're all going to be playing at the same, even Mbumo. So, you know, they're all going to be playing at the same time. By the time that these games are over, most of our midfield, or at least most of my midfield would have played. You know, Mbumo, Sterling, Maddison. Then it's going to be just the last game between United and Arsenal that's going to be left. Alright, moving on, guys. Chelsea going to win. Manchester City, I don't think we need to make a predictions. Zara says Chelsea going to win 2-0 as well. Guys, this is going to be a very, very easy prediction to make. So, yeah. I mean, just write anything. 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. Who knows which kind of City is going to come and how much would they want to score against Fulham, in the sense that they really want to, you know, push that knife in, and or they just want to win the game, say conserves of energy. A lot of games coming up after the international break, of course, so no conservation of energy. Alright, so when Avanai gets a good run of fixtures, I might get him in. Yeah, well, he's a strong, powerful player, good striker. Good run of fixtures, you can. Yeah, but I think there's going to be better options. Brennan Johnson at 5.9 million as a Spurs striker could be an option, especially if he's on penalties. Alright, so 4-0 for City says Barry, 5-0 to City says Zara, 4-0 to City says Todd. Lighter says 3-1. He expects Fulham to score. Nice. Brace for Alvarez says Todd. that would be rank killer. Although I think the effective ownership of Alvarez is not that high, but it still would hurt. But if all those assists come from Haaland, then I'm not complaining, I guess. You know, because of effective ownership, we can't really even enjoy our captaincy anymore. I mean, effectively, you're asking your captain to blank for you to gain rank. You know, that's what has come to these days with all these analytics and stuff. You know, earlier we used to be happy when Salah scored. We didn't know about effective ownership and all that stuff. So FPL Sam says 4-0 as well. Right, so guys, we've established that City's going to win this game, you know. Let's move on to Brighton versus Newcastle. And this is the game which I want you to read your predictions about, because this is going to be real interesting. There's two teams on the rise, and Brighton have signed Ansu Fati, and you know, they just go from strength to strength. They sold Caicedo, McAllister. They still look good. Todd says 1-1. George says 2-2. Lighter says 2-2 as well. Wow, I mean, I got a similar prediction as well. I was expecting a kind of 2-2 as well, with both Newcastle and Brighton scoring. However, I feel that Newcastle, after that Liverpool defeat, would want to, you know, like make up for it, and would go in for the kill, and possibly can think about winning this game. Newcastle, I feel that, you know, could win this game. So I'm going with a 2-1 to Newcastle. But my earlier prediction was 2-2. So I've changed my mind a little. Eddie Howe would have had some explaining to do. I mean, Right, Arsenal were playing against 10 men. They lost a goal. They drew the game against Fulham. But the way Newcastle dropped those points against Liverpool after being in a winning position, I mean, it would have given them such a huge boost, but it would have been disheartening for Newcastle, especially after performing so well. So I'm going with a 2-1 to Newcastle, but it could be anything. Brighton is just a roll of a dice. You never know what you're gonna get. 3-0 to Brighton, says Imran. There you go. So we've got contrarian prediction as compared to the other predictions. He says Imran says 3-0 to Brighton. Wow. And Newcastle gonna be absolutely destroyed if that happens. Right, moving on to Sunday games, guys. Crystal Palace versus Wolves, which is going to be a very interesting game because I have my eyes on Eze. And why I say this is because Crystal Palace's fixtures are really good in the upcoming weeks. And Eze has been playing fantastically well, although he's not got any FPL points. But on free kicks, he's attacking, assists, creating chances, taking shots. He's doing everything. He's a bit of everything right now. So... he's just I think desirable, and I will have my eyes on him, scouting to see how he plays. 2-1 to Palace, says Light Rays. 1-1 says George. I'm going with the 2-1 win for Palace as well. I think Palace is gonna win. Wolves possibly will score 1 goal. I think they started the season so well playing against United. Should never have lost that game. And after that, I don't know what happened. It seemed like their wheels came off against Brighton. And, but they managed to come back and beat. The Wolves have had a mixed kind of season. Let's see where it takes them now. 1-1 says George. 1-1 says Barry. Todd says 1-0 Crystal Palace. That would be nice. I mean, especially for, I think somebody in our chat owns Mitchell. So that would be a good differential for him. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. I mean, after the game last week, Wolves keep busting clean sheets with an odd goal. Yep. Well, what can you do? What can be done? They play good attacking football, Wolves. Whoever their new manager is, he's making them play well. I have to say that. So Liverpool versus Aston Villa, guys. I think Liverpool gonna win this game 3-1. I think it's going to be 3-1 in this game. I think Liverpool are going to be too confident after that win against Newcastle. Aston Villa is going to be confident as well. They beat Burnley last week. Was a good win for Aston Villa. But in the grand scheme of things, I think against Liverpool, it's a different opposition. Liverpool have signed a new player in Ryan Gravenberch, who's really good. I don't see Aston Villa going there and stealing points off Liverpool, especially after that high against Newcastle. So 3-1 to Liverpool. Let's see what you have to say. Todd says 3-2. Lightra says 3-2 as well. George says 4-2. So you all expect Aston Villa to score 2 goals. Barry says 3-1 as well. The same prediction as me. But you expect Aston Villa to score goals. That's interesting. But we are going for the Liverpool win. So yeah, I mean, we don't have any assets. Guys, it feels weird not to own any Liverpool assets, especially if you've been playing FPL in the last 4, 5, 6 years. You always kind of have by default 2 Liverpool assets, and we're always kind of debating having whether we should go for the third asset, whether we should go for Trent Alexander-Arnold plus Robertson. And this season is absolutely different. Nobody wants Trent Alexander-Arnold, nobody wants Robertson, nobody wants a defender from Liverpool. It's crazy. FPL Sam says Liverpool 2-1, Soposly. Todd says Liverpool is going to be leaky without Virgil van Dijk. That's an interesting point which I forgot to mention, guys. So Virgil van Dijk was sent off against Newcastle, and I think it was right. It was the right sending off because he clipped Isaac before he got to the ball. So he's not going to be there. So Isaac and Konate, Matip and Konate are gonna start in the defense. And I think against Aston Villa they should be alright, and this is exactly why I expect Aston Villa to score. Maybe 1 goal, maybe 2. So I guess your predictions of 3-2 and 4-2 are reasonable. I can agree with that. FPL Sam says Soboslai debut goal. He owns Son, he owns Soboslai, so he always goes for the road less traveled, as I just told you. Right, guys, last game. I would not predict this game. I do not wish to make any predictions, guys. I just want Arsenal to win this game. That's all I want. I will not predict this game, but please, after the farce of last week where you gave a goal away to 10-man Fulham, please just go and win this. The fans need it. Everybody needs it. George says, I considered captaining Salah briefly, but Liverpool are known to be terrible right after a great result. Well, these are the small nuances which you kind of notice when you're a fan of a club and also long-term FPL player. So kudos to you for noticing this, George. Let's see how it goes, which will help us increase our database of how Liverpool performs after a great result. So let us know next time in the comments, George. I would be interested. Lighter says 2-2. Wow, they expect Aston Villa to score 2 and Liverpool to score 2. Interesting. FPL Sam says Son has the most touches in the penalty area above Maddo on pens. Good versus promoted teams back-to-back game. Yeah, I know that. I totally agree with you. If he wasn't the problem is I'm not sure if he's on penalties. That's the thing. But if he is on penalties at 9 million, he could be a very, very good option. But to make him a good option, I think you need to bench Richarlison, because I think they keep getting in each other's way a bit, But Postecoglou's started well at Spurs, I have to say, and the signings they made a really big impact. Especially like somebody like now they've signed Brennan Johnson and Maddison, obviously the most impactful of their signings. Udogie, coming from the youth team, and I mean it's just. I think they're going to do well this season. Maybe up top, he's captain, he should take responsibility, still yet to make his goal account open. I guess so. But not going to be easy. Hit the like button on the way out, says Todd. Thank you so much for the shout out, my friend. United for the win. Both teams desperately need this after the start. Todd says Gunners 3-2 Manchester United. Lighter says 2-2. Yeah, I know. Both teams haven't had the best of starts. United got their share of adrenaline after you won 3-2. Arsenal fans were, absolutely, overjoyed when Arsenal scored the 2-1 winner, when Nketiah scored the goal. I never thought that a 10-man Fulham would come back and score an equalizer and we would not be able to hit them back. So it was a weird one to watch. 3-2 Arsenal, says Imran. Thank you so much, my friend. George says 2-1 Arsenal have to win this. I agree. Arsenal should win this. I mean, beating Nottingham's and Luton's and Everton's is not, the test of a true metal of the standard of the team right now. You have to beat the big boys, the top 6, and here's your chance to show everybody how good you are. So go out there and beat them. FPL Sam says 2-1 to Arsenal. Zara says 2-2. Interesting, guys. I like the predictions. So many of you are predicting a draw, many predicting an Arsenal win, but nobody predicting a United win, which is good prediction for me at least. So that's a good omen. And I'll possibly end the stream here on this note. So guys, it's been a long, healthy stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the analysis that we made about Maddison and Sterling, and although we ended up going for both of them, and by the end of the stream, I just I had shortlisted Sterling out of Maddison and Sterling because of the fixtures, and but I decided to go for both of them for the upside. And later on, if I feel that it was a move which deserves to be reconsidered, I can always get Rashford back. So it's not the end of the world. I just hope that players, because after game week 4 there's not going to be a deadline stream next week because there's international break, so we're going to be having a deadline stream next time on so today's first, I think it's going to be 16th September, so the deadline stream is going to be back on Saturday. All the first 4 deadline streams have been on Fridays, so hopefully none of the players that we own come back injured, so we are needing to fight with fires. If that doesn't happen, then I would easily consider getting back Rashford if I need. but not before game week 5, obviously, because Tottenham play against Sheffield United, and that's why I got Madison. Right, so Zara says thank you, Wiz. Lighter says thank you guys. Thanks to you for being on this stream and staying with me for the duration of this team. I really appreciate it. Every week you coming to the stream, joining, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. FPL Sam says Kabore benched. No, what? Why is Kabore benched? What did he do to get benched? He had a decent game last week. I was watching the game. Let's go to Twitter and see what FPL Sam has to say. Who's disclosed this news? Kabore benched. Where do I see this? This is FPL Badgers, one of my favorite FPL managers. I really like him. Follow him on Twitter as well. He's rolling a transfer. My guy. I've already got the players, so yeah, can roll. This guy's a legend of the game, by the way, guys. What's his overall rank now? Yeah, I think it's in the Hall of Fame. I think he's 3rd. Really, really good manager. If you don't follow him, guys. Really good. Oh, so Andy's leaked the news that Kabore has been benched. That's just a bit strange. I don't understand why Kabore has been benched. I mean, he had a decent game last week, although against Chelsea he did make a few darting runs and he was looking pretty attacking. I don't understand why would he bench Rich Clark, another one of the great managers, guys. Hall of Fame. I don't know how many times he's got top 10k. He's with the Fantasy Football Hub, of course. If you don't follow him, you should follow him. Follow these legendary managers. See how they play, and we learn from slowly and gradually. You see how they make their moves and how they set up their teams. Over the time, we learn. Although I mean, it's everybody has their own different strategies, but there's always a common underlying theme, which everybody follows, and it's gotta understand how to hold your nerve at the right time and how to make your moves at the right time. So guys, Kabore is benched. Lineup is out. Oh yeah, obviously lineup's gonna be out because I've been talking too much and saying too little. So Luton Town. There you go. I guess this is the team. Yeah. So Amari Bell is starting. Giles Nakamba, obviously marvelous Nakamba. Barkley is starting. Tahit Chong is starting. Morris Adebayo. That's the same team. So what happened to Kabore? Why is he benched? So Doughty is starting. This guy's come in, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea why Kabore is benched. But unfortunate, FPL Sam started him. So well, this is what happens, guys. But I hope you have ample cover on the bench, FPL Sam. I hope you have ample cover. So guys, on this note, I would like to end today's stream. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed today's deadline stream. Next week there's going to be an international break, and after that I'll come back with another deadline stream before game week 5. Till then, take care, guys. Have a good one. FPL Visit signing out. May the arrows be green. Take care. Bye bye.